Kings and queens, Thades and gentlethems. The drag we saw last season elevated Toon World to another galaxy. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. After all, how else can something even better take its place? With that in mind, please join me in opening the third chapter of the shadiest show on Earth. Welcome to Cartoon Drag Race Toon World, Season 3.
Does anyone have an apple? I'm fucking starving. Before anyone asks, I wanna set the record straight. If you watched the show hosted by that G-cupped rabbit and think you saw me competing, you didn't. That simply didn't happen. I was held in Australia against my will for 2 weeks, surviving on nothing but crackers and tap water, so consider this my official debut. Anyway, hi lovelies, I'm Snow White, burlesque performer, theatre queen, singer, the reason Mickey Mouse kept the lights on back in the day, former Miss Cartoon Continental, and an all-around icon. I'm thrilled to be in this workroom, and I can't wait to see who will be joining me. Are you kidding? No one heard that. My entrance line would have killed. I mean, yay, I'm the first queen on Season 3. Where's the next diva?
Hi everyone. I hope you're ready to have a fantastic time. I know I am.
Is that Sabella? She came out of nowhere and cracked the top 10 at the most recent Miss Cartoon Continental. She has this spooky, camp vibe that I find really unique, but otherwise, I don't know much about her. Still, I'm happy to see another Continental queen on set.
Hello to all of the lovely goblins, gremlins, and ghouls at home. It's me, Sabella, the Vampire Queen. I'm the fantastic lead actress of Ms. Grimwood's School for Ghouls. I've worked with Scooby-Doo in the past, and I placed in the top 10 at this year's Miss Cartoon Continental, which was actually my first pageant. I live for big hair and great shoes, and Elvira and Thorn are two of my biggest inspirations. Trust that you're going to love what you see from me this season.
Sabella cheers when she sees Snow White, quickly walking over and hugging the other queen. Snow warmly returns the hug and says that she's seen some of Sabella's work since her big pageant debut, adding that she's quickly become a huge fan. Sabella responds in kind, stating that she's followed Snow's career for years and really admires her drag. Snow is visibly shocked and admits that she never expected her brand to appeal to someone with Sabella's aesthetic. The two queens continue to bond until they're interrupted by the next queen's arrival.
I hope you're ready, divas. This duel just got dark.
Oh boy, here's the Yu-Gi-Oh queen of the season. The Dark Magician is an icon, and I'm excited to share the workroom with him. But without Yugi, is he anything more than a fancy staff and some cool robes? I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Is everyone at home ready to see a magic trick? Watch closely. Abracadabra, that crown is mine. That's right, the Dark Magician is here to bring the Toon World crown back to Domino City. I'm an actor, a model, and a part-time shady monster when I deign to let Yugi summon me. And there's no telling what side of me you'll get to see first.
The Dark Magician glides into the workroom, posing for the cameras before approaching Sabella and Snow with an intrigued expression. Snow remarks the big competition has just arrived, and the Dark Magician starts to nod, until Sabella asks if he's new to drag, like the last Yu-Gi-Oh queen who appeared on Toon World. The Dark Magician sneers, replying that said Yu-Gi-Oh queen won her season. Turning to Sabella, he asks how far she thinks her spooky, Elvira knockoff shtick will get her. Before she can reply, he adds that he doubts she'll last very long. Sabella rolls her eyes, stating that she isn't looking to fight over a silly question. The Dark Magician opens his mouth to reply, but is cut off as the next queen enters the workroom.
Time to update your circuits, because this Star Wars glam bot is here to slay.
Oh my god, I can't believe someone actually made a cartoon version of a mandatory meeting. Wait, that isn't a mandatory meeting. Ouch.
How do you do, human viewers? I'm C3PO, human cyborg relations expert, robotic comedy queen, official garment coordinator for the Royal Drag House of Naboo, and I also serve a mean chick in Kiev. How may I serve you?
C3PO walks to the center of the room, striking a few mechanical poses before turning to his new seasoned sisters. He greets each of them politely and is warmly received by Snow and Sabella, although the Dark Magician keeps a healthy distance. Standing next to Snow, C-3PO expresses how delighted he is to be competing with them on Season 3 and asks the others what their specialties are when it comes to drag. Sabella shares that she considers herself an actress, and Snow says that she's a theater queen through and through, adding that everything from performing to sewing is part of her brand. The Dark Magician remarks that he's more curious to hear what kind of queen C-3PO considers himself to be, since it's already clear that he isn't a fashion queen. C-3PO nods, stating that he views himself as a foremost expert on comedy and improv relative to his fellow Star Wars queens. Turning to the Dark Magician, C-3PO innocently assesses the other queen's outfit and politely asks about his brand, noting that, objectively, he doesn't appear to be a very skilled designer. The Dark Magician opens his mouth in shock, but is unable to form a response before the next queen arrives.
Can I sign your name in my death note with a heart next to it?
Oh wow, Light Yagami. He's an Instagram queen with a big following in Japan. I don't know much about him, but he has a magnetic presence and is very easy on the eyes. Only time will tell if his looks will carry him as far as Flynn Rider, or if he'll be someone that I actually need to watch out for in this competition.
Yes, the patriarch of the Kira Drag Syndicate has finally made his debut on Cartoon Drag Race. I'm social media legend Light Yagami. I'm known for my iconic looks, hilarious TikTok videos, and my weekly web show with my drag family, where we discuss all things Cartoon Drag Race. I'm here to win, and I have a clear plan of attack for this season. Right now, I'm just studying the workroom, and I can already tell that none of these queens are the right fit for the first stage of my plan. I guess it's time to be fake nice.
Light winks into the camera before confidently striding towards the other queens, stopping in the exact center of the workroom. C-3PO exclaims that the Death Note queens have quite a notorious reputation and asks Light how he feels about making his debut on the Cartoon Drag Race circuit. Light responds that he feels confident, insisting that he's one of the best queens to ever come out of Japan and intends to set a high bar for anyone else from his scene who might compete on Toon World. Sabella remarks that she likes Light's confidence, and Light replies that he'll show them all that he's more than just confident. Forcing a smile, he continues to make small talk with the others, breathing a quiet sigh of relief when the next queen enters.
Put plastic on the furniture, vacuum the floors, and dust off that crown, because Mama just walked in.
We've seen some gag-worthy Pokemon queens walk through those doors, but Lusumine might top the list. She's been a major player in the drag industry for years, has her own company, and is known for her sickening performances with her drag family, including Pheromosa. A Pokemon queen won last season, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lusumine followed in his footsteps.
Oh wow, this room really is as purple as it looks on TV. I was fully expecting a green screen. Anyway, I'm Lusumine, the mommy dearest of Pokemon drag and proud mother of over 10 drag children. I'm pageant royalty, a glamour queen, and the next addition to the Cartoon Drag Race winners circle. My drag is elegant and expensive, with a surprising edge that I don't think anyone will see coming, especially the judges.
Lusumine pauses in the doorway and flicks her long blonde hair, modeling her outfit for the main camera before greeting the other queens. She moves to stand beside the Dark Magician and quickly remarks that she's thrilled to be on a season with queens of such unique tastes, which earns her several sharp glances. Lusumine gives her seasoned sisters a wide smile and insists that she was being completely genuine. In a dry tone, Sabella says that she believes Lusumine before rolling her eyes and sharing a laugh with Snow. Seeking to cut through the mounting tension, C-3PO tells the others that he feels honored to be competing alongside them. The Dark Magician leans toward Lusumine and loudly whispers that at least C-3PO is self-aware enough to know that he needs to be nice if he insists on looking that terrible.
I'm sorry, but that cakey-ass mug and the breastplate that doesn't match his skin tone. Why didn't he wear a necklace or something to cover it up? I'm just calling it as I see it, he's definitely going home first.
Snow scoffs and tells the Dark Magician that he's doing a lot of talking for someone who's been holding up his wig since he walked into the workroom, which makes the other queens laugh. The Dark Magician furrows his brow and claps back, saying that it's crazy for someone with such a boring, generic mug to come for him. As the two start to bicker, Light gives the queens a bemused smirk and quickly raises a hand to cover his expression. Sabella clocks the gesture and opens her mouth to speak on it when she's interrupted by the next queen's arrival.
My name's Yugi Muto, and I didn't come to duel. I came to summon my crown. Thank God, someone I can actually tolerate. That explains why he hasn't been answering his phone. I'm actually thrilled to see Yugi here. He's been performing by my side since day one, and he's one of the most versatile drag artists I've ever met. I know he'll be in my corner this season. That being said, I'm also fully aware that he's fierce competition.
Hi everyone. I'm Yugi Muto, Domino City's drag king of games, the beau of your season 1 winner, Rebecca Hawkins, and an entertainment icon. Not to sound conceited. Much like my partner, I consider myself a jack of all trades when it comes to drag. I can sew, I can sing, I can host, and I put on massive productions with my drag family. I'm here to bring the Toon World crown back to Domino, and looking around the workroom, I'm already gagged by the other contestants, especially a certain magician.
Yugi spins in a slow circle at the entrance, inviting everyone to take a good look. The Dark Magician cheers for his friend, and Yugi quickly approaches him, allowing the other queen to pull him into a big hug. Snow exchanges a curious look with a few of the others, but she quickly remarks that she's excited to see a queen like Yugi on the season. Sabella adds that she's surprised Yugi didn't compete on the first season of Toon World, considering his history with Pegasus and Mai. Yugi shrugs, explaining that he was contacted for the first 2 seasons, but the timing never felt right.
Let me translate for the viewers at home. He didn't want to be one-upped by his girlfriend, but once she won the crown, he figured he'd be well received by the judges and make his own appearance. He just waited an extra season so it wouldn't be as obvious. I'll keep my mouth shut for now, but I smell something funny. And I'm not talking about Light's wig glue.
Before any of the others can respond, Light steps towards Yugi, telling him that he's been a fan of his drag for years. He flashes the other queen a wide smile and asks what made Yugi decide to audition for Season 3. Sabella narrows her eyes at Light's sudden interest, exchanging a pointed look with Snow. Completely unaware, Yugi replies that he finally felt confident he was in a place where he could give his all to the season, and Light says that he's excited to see how he performs. Snow interjects, noting that it's nice to hear Light actually contribute something to the conversation, but Light just shrugs, insisting that some of them were doing enough talking for everyone. Snow studies him for a moment but decides not to respond as the next queen walks into the workroom.
From Kyoshi Island, serving grace, lace, and face.
We've got another Avatar queen this season, and this one actually knows how to paint her mug. If she's even half as talented a performer as Toph, she could be a real threat. Hopefully, she'll get Snow to focus on someone else for a damn minute. My plan's already in motion, and it doesn't involve her ancient ass.
Hi everyone. I'm Suki, leader of the Kyoshi Drag Warriors, top diva in the Boiling Rock Theater, and one of the best dancers you'll ever meet. My drag is all about performance. I've been leading a girl group for over a decade and touring with Team Avatar long before Toph booked Season 2. I can sew, paint a fierce mug, style my own wigs, and I'm here to make a mark on this competition.
Suki performs a few intricate movements with her fans, and most of the others cheer as she joins the group. Sabella and Snow are quick to praise her makeup, and Suki returns the compliment, stating that she's thrilled to finally meet her season sisters. Lusamine replies that she's equally thrilled the Avatar girl will actually look pretty this season, and Suki immediately snaps back, telling Lusamine that she already knows from her backhanded comment that she plans to get her screen time by being a bitch. Laughing, Snow says that it's nice to know the Avatar queens won't lose their reputation for being sharp-tongued this season. Lusamine looks Suki up and down, but is prevented from responding as the next queen walks into the workroom.
Say I love you to me 3 times and just watch what happens.
Is that Mystique Sonia? I'm gagged to see her here. The Hero 108 drag family is very well known, but they've always kept things local, and I thought they were avoiding Cartoon Drag Race. Regardless, she's pretty and can clearly serve a look. I'm excited to see what else she'll bring to the competition.
Hello, my beautiful jelly bun brigade. The Marilyn Monroe of Big Green has arrived. My drag is exquisite Japanese glamour. I love looking pretty, though let's be honest, I'm always pretty, but you know what I mean. I know how to corset, and my body will always be correct on that main stage. Looking around, I'm truly gagged at some of the names I'm going to compete against this season. I've faced tough queens and come out on top before. This season won't be any different.
Sonia models for the cameras, blowing a few kisses to the people back home before confidently walking towards the rest of the cast. Suki remarks that it's awesome to see another queen make their franchise debut on Toon World, and Sonia replies that she's thrilled Suki is already familiar with her drag scene, adding that she's beyond elated to be opening the door for Hero 108 queens on Cartoon Drag Race. The Dark Magician interjects, stating that although Sonia is pretty, he can't say that he's ever heard of her drag family before, which causes several queens to roll their eyes.
I was hoping that he'd at least try to keep his cool for a few weeks, but the Dark Magician's ugly side always tends to rear its head in competition settings. He can be very catty, but I'm hoping he'll settle for just being a little bitchy, and that I can cool him off before he makes too many enemies among the other queens.
Sonia shrugs, insisting that he'll remember her and her drag family when she outperforms him and wins the season. Turning away, she tells the other queens that she's excited to meet them. Snow asks Sonia what inspires her drag, and Sonia explains that she loves celebrating Japanese femininity and beauty, especially in a drag scene dominated by male performers. Suki smiles at this, admitting that she can relate and strives to combat male-centric gender norms through her performance group. The two queens start to chat and bond as the next queen enters the workroom.
Can someone check on Bugs out front? I hit him with my car when I pulled onto the set.
Girl, get out. Lola Bunny has been in high demand for a season of Cartoon Drag Race since before RuPaul could even afford confessionals, but Pegasus booked her instead? On top of that, she just placed in the top 6 for Miss Cartoon Continental. Serious competition just walked in, and Mama can already feel a migraine coming. We're ending this interview. Give me my bag.
So I just look into the camera and talk? We're rolling? You mean we're live right now? Oh, hi everyone. I'm Lola Bunny, the Looney Tunes Camp Smoke Show and the queen with the skills to pay the bills. I've been making it work on a tough drag scene for years, and I'm here to do what so many of the boys back home couldn't. Bring home a Cartoon Drag Race crown.
Lola poses for the cameras, falling into a split before bouncing to her feet and moving towards the other queens, most of whom watch her in awed silence. Yugi quickly clears his throat and steps forward, asking Lola if she intends to be as much of a nightmare as Lola Fish, which earns tentative laughter from the others. Lola shakes her head, explaining that while she plans to look as beautiful as Lola Fish, she also wants to prove you don't need to be a bitch for attention if you have talent and charisma. C3PO asks Lola to describe her drag, and Lola replies that it's high glam with a side of camp, adding that she strives to honor the power of femininity through her looks.
I may look like a ditz, and I'll admit that I'm a bit of an airhead, but I put every piece of my mind and soul into my drag. I love feeling pretty, highlighting the best parts of myself and the women I admire. And my work has gotten me this far in the Looney Tunes drag scene for a reason. Every queen in that room was stunned when I walked in, and I plan to show the whole world why that reaction was well-deserved.
Sabella remarks that the fans have wanted to see Lola on a Cartoon Drag Race season for a long time, and asks what made Lola decide to debut on Toon World. Lola replies that she's been a fan of Cartoon Drag Race since the main franchise first aired, but hearing Tweety talk about his experiences on Season 1 and fully watching Season 2 is what motivated her to choose Toon World. Snow laughs, noting that her decision is really unfortunate for the rest of them, and Lola laughs in agreement, telling Snow that she's damn right it is.
Yugi Muto, Snow White, Lusamine, Lola Bunny. This cast is stacked with talented queens, and I'm really starting to feel the weight of the competition. Does anyone have some garlic I can sniff to get my head in the game?
The queens continue to bond, with Lola, Sonia, Sabella, and Suki quickly forming into a close-knit group. After a moment, the conversation is interrupted by the screech of wheels rolling into the workroom.
Beep beep boop boop, bitches.
Oh my. Are two and I competing on the same season? This is more than I could have ever dreamed. He's family and the other half of my comedic duo. With the two of us working together, Star Wars will finally claim its first ever cartoon drag race crown.
That's right, viewers, set your phasers to stunning, because another OG Star Wars icon has arrived. I've been doing drag since the Old Republic, and I've seen performances and built garments beyond your wildest dreams. Spotting C3PO in the workroom as I make my entrance only confirms that this season is mine for the taking.
R2-D2 strikes a pose, extending a mechanical saw towards the cameras before gliding to the other queens. C3PO quickly pulls him into a hug and says that he finally understands why R2 wasn't answering his calls. R2 confirms that he received C3PO's messages but chose to ignore them, which causes everyone to laugh except Light, who simply looks R2 up and down.
So, after Padme and Ventress's lackluster showings, Pegasus decided to cast 2 Star Wars queens to float through the season? I get casting a duo for the gag, but couldn't he have picked a prettier pair instead of whatever the hell they're supposed to be?
R2 cheers, exclaiming that he can't believe they actually made it onto Toon World. He adds that he worried Ventress had salted the dirt behind her when she stormed out of the reunion. Snow agrees that Ventress probably ruined her own chances of returning, but doubts that Pegasus would ban an entire drag scene because of someone like her. Lusamine interjects, remarking that R2 must be a comedy queen, and he immediately spins towards her, asking how she came to that conclusion.
Because both he and that outfit need to be dragged into a field and shot.
Lusamine responds that C3PO already mentioned his brand is comedy, and considering that they're such a well-known duo, she just assumed. R2 clarifies that while he's known for his comedic timing on screen, his true passion lies in constructing garments.
I'm as funny as 3PO, and I know that, but these arms can make something prettier in a day than he could whip up in 2 weeks. I'm not here to be overshadowed by my friend, and I know that he isn't planning to play second fiddle to me either.
Lusamine's attempt at shade was about as subtle as a punch in the throat, but R2's entrance also caught my attention. Another established pair on the same season has me on edge. If R2 and C3PO make a show of working together, then the Dark Magician and I could look bad by association, even if we don't collaborate on challenges.
A quiet tension builds between R2 and Lusamine, prompting C3PO to step in and introduce R2 to a few of the other queens. However, their conversation is quickly halted by a shrill laugh, drawing a gasp from Snow as the next queen enters.
Oh dear, someone said you were the fairest of them all. They lied.
And then walks in Coco Montrese, the face crack of the century. Oh my God! Alyssa Edwards. What the fuck?
Are you serious? That dog-faced bitch put me through 10 years of therapy, and now she wants to ruin my cartoon drag race experience. If I asked someone on set to smuggle me a bottle of Adderall, would I get disqualified?
Greetings, uglies. You aren't hallucinating. The evil queen is actually here to grace your screens. I'm the original Disney villain, the wicked beauty whose face card never declines, and it's hilarious to see that the fattest, fairest, of them all is on the same season. It's already clear that I'm the prettiest queen in the room and the only real drag queen here. It won't take long to prove that I'm Toon World's next winner.
The evil queen cackles loudly, mugging for the cameras before turning towards the other queens and opening her mouth in fake surprise when she locks eyes with Snow. Sauntering over, she declares that she won't waste time introducing herself. Clearly, every single one of them already knows who she is. The Dark Magician quickly chimes in, saying that he knows for a fact at least one queen recognizes her. He promptly directs his gaze at Snow, who glares back at him without missing a beat.
Sorry, but I just couldn't help myself. And did you see the look on Snow White's face? Priceless.
The evil queen and Snow stare each other down and open their mouths to speak, but are interrupted by a blaring siren as Pegasus's face appears on the workroom monitor.
It seems that my newest batch of Glamazons has arrived to compete for the crown. So sorry if I'm interrupting something. I just couldn't wait to greet you all. Welcome to Toon World, my Season 3 queens. I've selected the 12 of you to duke it out and prove who is worthy of taking the crown from Toon World's alien superstar. This season, the gloves are off. I won't settle for anything but the best, and this week I want to see the soul behind your drag. So, without further ado, leave your keys in the bowl and let's get this show started. For your first challenge, you'll be bringing it to the runway in 2 categories: Hometown Eleganza and Glamour from Another Galaxy. Oh, and one more thing. Tonight, one of you will be going home. No tricks, no saves, nothing. Ta-ta, darlings. I trust that everyone will play nice.
The queens exchange a few long glances, processing the gravity of Pegasus's words before separating into smaller groups and spreading out across the workroom. R2 and C-3PO approach Snow, who huffs loudly as she unpacks her workstation. C-3PO asks Snow if she'd mind if they got ready beside her, and Snow replies that she doesn't mind at all.
3PO noticed how annoyed Snow looked when she saw the evil queen, and he insisted that we work alongside her to make sure she's okay. Snow seems fun, and I respect her drag, but I'm not here to be a therapist for some queen I've never met. I just need to make sure my friend remembers that too.
The 3 queens begin preparing for the challenge, and Snow breaks the ice by stating that she knows R2 and C-3PO are drag siblings, but is curious to hear how they met and how long they've been working as a duo. C-3PO responds that he and R2 have been performing and designing looks together for nearly 2 decades. R2 immediately chimes in, telling C-3PO that he needs to stop telling people that. It makes them both sound terribly old. C-3PO shrugs off his friend's comment, explaining that they met when they both decided to work for Padme Amidala, and once they realized how well they performed together, the rest was history.
I was hoping for a nice distraction to take my mind off a certain someone, so I'm grateful that R2 and C-3PO approached me. They both seem kind, although R2 is definitely more reserved, while C-3PO fills the room with chatter. I look forward to getting to know them better over the next few weeks.
Setting some of his garments on the table, C-3PO turns to Snow and says that he heard her gasp when the evil queen walked into the workroom, and he wanted to check if she's okay. Snow replies that she's fine and is just trying to focus on the challenge, suggesting that they both do the same. After a moment, she points out a stray seam on one of C-3PO's outfits, which prompts R2 to admit she has a point.
I'm not trying to be sharp with them, but yes, it's distracting to be in the same room as the evil queen given our history, and I don't like thinking about it. I'm not going to share the specifics right now because I have better things to focus on, but I do hope she trips on the runway and goes home so I don't have to deal with her manipulative ass. And no, I'm not sorry about that.
I know he isn't trying to be messy, but asking Snow about her beef with the evil queen probably isn't the smartest way to make friends. He means well, and I hope she can see that, but he definitely needs to refocus, especially since we all know that I'm the look queen in this duo.
The 3 continue to work and occasionally chat, with Snow and R2 seeming much more focused on preparing their garments, while C-3PO pushes to continue their conversation. Lola and Sonia begin unpacking their workstations when Sabella and Suki approach, asking if they can get ready at the same table. Sonia quickly invites them to join, and the 4 queens soon settle into working alongside one another. After a moment, Sabella tells Lola that it's really good to see her again after Miss Cartoon Continental, and Lola echoes the sentiment, noting that Sabella looked beautiful on the final night of the pageant.
My fangs nearly popped out when I saw Lola walk into the workroom. She's a strong performer, and her comedy sets are next level. I half expected her to walk away with the entire pageant this year. She's fierce competition, but she's also a continental sister, so I hope that we'll have each other's backs.
Suki leans into the conversation and states that she really admired the way Lola spoke about her drag. She adds that she also strives to highlight the power of femininity in her work, citing Avatar Kyoshi as a major inspiration for her and her sisters. Sonia responds in kind, sharing that her drag is a love letter to Japanese glamour with a campy twist, similar to how Sabella honors spooky female icons through her looks. Lola smiles, noting that they all seem to have something in common, and she settles into the conversation a bit more as the group starts to refine their runways.
I walked into this competition ready to fight on day one because, well, it's Toon World, and I've watched the show Tamar. So I was shocked to be approached by 3 other girls whose drag I already respect. I never imagined that I'd make friends here so quickly, and I just hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass.
The 4 chat and bond as they work, occasionally pausing to offer advice or ask for input, each queen falling into a steady rhythm. Yugi and the Dark Magician unpack their stations together, chatting amicably about being on the same season. Yugi admits that he didn't know the Dark Magician was auditioning for the show, and the Dark Magician confesses that he didn't tell Yugi because he wasn't sure he'd make the cut. After a brief pause, he asks if Yugi even bothered to audition himself, or if Rebecca pulled a few strings to secure his spot. Yugi rolls his eyes, insisting that he didn't ask Rebecca for any favors, including help preparing for the season.
I know that he's joking, but I came in expecting people to have a lot of misconceptions about me due to my relationships with Pegasus, Mai, and Rebecca. I didn't get cast this season because I called in a favor. I'm here because I'm a good performer and my drag is top tier, and Pegasus knows that I'll be a serious contender for the crown. That's all there is to it.
The Dark Magician reassures Yugi that he believes him, stating that he's been by Yugi's side since the start of his career and knows how hard they've both worked to get this far. Before Yugi can reply, the duo is approached by Light, who says that most of the other workstations are taken and asks if he can set up near them. The Dark Magician looks apprehensive, but Yugi doesn't hesitate. He immediately moves some of his items aside and tells Light that they're happy to have him work beside them.
And I'm in. I knew that a queen like Yugi would be too kind to turn me away. Now it's just a matter of becoming one of his little friends and using him to get on Pegasus's good side. I don't like how Yugi's sidekick keeps staring at me, though. If he decides to be an issue, then I'll make sure he's one of the first to leave this competition.
The 3 begin preparing for the challenge, and Yugi asks Light about his drag scene back home, admitting that although he knows Light has a sizable social media following, he isn't very familiar with his brand. Light replies that he considers himself a jack of all trades, much like Yugi markets himself to be. He adds that to earn 1.5 million Instagram followers, you have to be skilled at just about everything. Yugi smiles, stating that he can relate to the need to remain versatile to keep up with his drag scene. The 2 continue to chat and bond as they work, earning a sharp glare from the Dark Magician.
I'm not trying to be all creepy and possessive, but something about Light makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. He's too pretty, too smooth, and it feels like he zeroed in on Yugi the moment he walked into the workroom. It's weird, and I don't like it.
The Dark Magician cocks his head, interjecting that while Light claims to be as versatile as Yugi, he might want to work on the quality of his looks, because he doubts Pegasus will be impressed, especially compared to what the other queens brought. Yugi quickly reminds the Dark Magician that he doesn't need to be rude to Light for no reason, but Light insists that it's fine and admits his garment is a bit underwhelming by comparison. Yugi shakes his head, insisting that he likes what Light is bringing to the runway for this challenge and is willing to help him improve the outfit to make it really stand out.
Light has been nothing but kind to me since I walked in. And yeah, his runways are a little basic, but I'd rather help him try to make a good impression instead of letting him flounder on the main stage. If he still does poorly, at least I can say that it wasn't my fault.
The Dark Magician reminds Yugi that they're under a time crunch, and Light nods in agreement, insisting that he doesn't want Yugi to underperform in the challenge because he wasted time helping someone else. Yugi shakes his head, reassuring Light that he can spare the time before turning his attention to Light's runway. As Yugi looks away, Light gives the Dark Magician a sly grin, and then slowly leans towards Yugi to consider his input. The evil queen sits alone, silently preparing her garments while watching the other 3 groups begin to interact and bond, an amused look on her face. Lusamine approaches and asks what she finds so fascinating about the other queens, and the evil queen clarifies that none of them are terribly interesting. However, she adds that she's enjoying how much her presence is bothering a particular queen, earning her a wry smile from Lusamine.
I was stunned when I walked in and saw Snow White, but I'm not about to stomp over to her station and cut up her dresses with my scissors. I don't need to be messy. My presence alone has me living rent-free in her head, and I'm going to let those feelings fester while I focus on my own performance. Besides, I seem to be making a new friend of my own, and with how well Pokemon Queens have done on previous seasons of Toon World, Lusamine could prove to be an important ally indeed.
The evil queen notes that something must have drawn Lusamine to her station, and Lusamine nods, admitting that she's sensed a kindred spirit in the evil queen from the moment they locked eyes, and believes they could help each other out. The evil queen smiles, considering Lusamine's words for a moment before offering her a seat at the workstation and moving some of her items aside.
The evil queen is going to be a force this season, and I intend to be one as well. It's time for a villainess to accomplish what Rita Repulsa and her little coterie couldn't. Take the Toon World crown for a walk on the wicked side.
The two queens start to chat and share information about their drag backgrounds as they work on their garments. The evil queen is quick to clarify that their camaraderie doesn't mean they're working together, adding that they can revisit that decision if they both survive the week. Lusamine agrees, and the two return their attention to their garments until production signals that the queens are needed on the main stage.
Welcome to the main stage of Cartoon Drag Race Toon World, Season 3. Allow me to introduce our delicious panel of judges. First, making her Toon World debut, she's straight from the Witch's Garden, the Black Rose Witches to be exact. That's right, put your hands together for Akiza Izinski. Next, we have our special guest judge, or should I say judges. First, he's the winner of Cartoon Drag Race Toon World Season 2, and the alien superstar of drag, it's Deoxys. And joining him, we have a Cartoon Drag Race veteran and the host of Cartoon Drag Race Holland. Give it up for Stella. It's a true delight to have you all here. Tonight, we asked our newest batch of queens to bring it to the runway in two categories: Hometown Eleganza and Glamour from Another Galaxy. Now, Akiza, I want this on the record. Did you accept your judging spot just to soft launch your Toon Madness All-Stars 2 campaign?
Absolutely. I thought that was pretty clear when I accepted such a shit gig.
If that's the case, then Stella, are you just here to keep Holland running?
As long as Musa and RuPaul are friends, I don't need to worry about keeping Holland running, dear. I am here because they were worried that you weren't interesting enough to solo open a season premiere.
You bitch. Drinks later.
Absolutely.
Lola Bunny slayed the challenge.
I told everyone that I don't mess around when it comes to my drag, and I proved it with my looks tonight. For my hometown eleganza, I'm serving pure Looney Tunes camp with a touch of sex, strutting down the runway in a beaded gown that hugs me in all the right places. And my glamour from another galaxy is giving Space Jam alien couture. I feel sporty, spunky, and expensive, and I could tell that the judges were completely enthralled.
Dark Magician, Yugi Muto, Evil Queen, Mystique Sonia, Suki, R2D2, and Snow White had a great performance.
Tonight, I'm making it clear that if you're in the House of Magician, then slaying the runway isn't optional. For my hometown eleganza look, I'm covered in blue and white custom armor, giving the full dark paladin fantasy. And for my glamour from another galaxy, I decided to pay homage to Yu-Gi-Oh's iconic alien queens. I'm stomping down the stage in a massive bodysuit that I painted in rhinestone by hand. I know that my looks were exceptional, and I expect to be in the top.
Unlike other Disney queens, I don't need to pay someone else to make my runways. My hometown eleganza is full of fabulous, wicked witch energy, complete with a shimmering black cloak and a silk train that goes on for miles. And although it's a stunning garment, I'm even prouder of my glamour from another galaxy. Look-wise, I think a lot of people expected me to stay in one lane, so tonight I took a risk and am serving up the full pink fembot fantasy. I'm corseted to high hell, my mug is modern and flawless, and I know that I caught the judges off guard in the best possible way.
Coming into this competition, I thought I'd feel most comfortable on the runway, but the second I saw the judges staring up at me, I nearly swallowed my tongue. For my hometown eleganza, I'm giving big green pride in a floor-length gown that I dyed myself and is covered in empowering messages written by every animal drag entertainer that I've ever worked alongside. And my glamour from another galaxy is pure Lilu from the Fifth Element hotness, bedazzled bandages, teased-out orange wig, and body for days as I stalk down that runway.
Light, Lusamine, C3PO, and Sabella had a good performance.
My looks for this category might be a bit simpler than some of the other queens, but their quality speaks for itself. My hometown eleganza is a sleek black pantsuit that I've emblazoned with the Kira logo and had custom fitted by my girlfriend, Misa. My glamour from another galaxy is giving Japanese alien emperor, with an intricate headpiece, stoned robes, and sculpted shoulder pads. I feel commanding, and I think a top placement is in the cards for me.
I always try to incorporate comedic elements into my runways, and that's especially true tonight. My hometown eleganza is a robotic, exaggerated version of one of Mistress Amidala's ornate runway gowns, and I'm covered in swaths of metallic fabric that give me a grand silhouette. My glamour from another galaxy is a tribute to all of the iconic robot queens across the Star Wars universe, and I've dedicated pieces of my bodysuit to each of them. My looks are a little simple, but I think my runway walk and heartfelt inspiration will push them over the edge.
I knew the judges weren't living for my looks the moment I stepped on stage. My hometown eleganza was a sleek and spooky wrap dress, styled with these cute rhinestoned bats and a few other eerie props. My glamour from another galaxy served vampire alien queen realness, but I tripped on my train in the middle of my runway walk, and Pegasus looked so disappointed. I should have slayed this challenge, but instead, it feels like I let my entire drag scene down tonight.
Ladies, I've made some initial decisions. Sabella, Evil Queen, Light Yagami, Lola Bunny, C3PO, and Mystique Sonia. You may step forward. You represent the tops and bottoms of the week, which means that Yugi Muto, R2D2, Snow White, Dark Magician, Suki, and Lusamine, you are all safe and may go untucked backstage. Now it's time for critiques. Mystique Sonia, please step forward. Akiza, start us off.
Sonia, I really enjoyed what you presented tonight. Your runways were immaculate, you clearly know how to pad, and the styling of your wigs was really on point. It's clear that your looks spoke to your culture, your drag scene, and the level of taste that you're going to bring to this competition. I thought every detail was perfect. Fabulous job.
Above everything else, I really want to praise your makeup skills. From your entrance look to the 2 runways you presented tonight, you served completely distinct, yet equally stunning mugs, and I'm truly obsessed. You know how to showcase your natural beauty without losing that quintessential drag essence in your looks. You also know how to paint without being repetitive, so I'm really excited to see what you'll show us next. Great work, Sonia.
While I agree with everything the other judges have said, one small thing I'd like to clock is your choice in shoes for your glamour from another galaxy look. You were serving full-body glamazon in those gorgeous, rhinestoned bandages, but paired the outfit with a pair of strappy pink heels. A nude pump never killed anyone, and it would have done you a lot of favors, making the whole look seem more cohesive. Even an orange heel to match the wig would have been better. Otherwise, I loved what you presented tonight.
Next up, Sabella, please step forward.
Sabella, I really wanted to love your runways tonight, but your garments felt a bit too simple and crafty to stand out next to some of the more elaborate looks on stage. Your shoes are great, I like your hair, and this gown fits you well. but everything is just a little bland and unremarkable, especially for a queen who is known for having such a distinctive brand.
Akiza took the words right out of my mouth. Your looks relied too much on props for me, instead of really standing on their own merit. And you tripping in the middle of your glamour from another galaxy runway was just the final nail in the coffin. It seemed like you knew your looks didn't measure up, so you started to panic when you hit the main stage and just got stuck in your own head.
To give you some praise, your hometown eleganza was stunning, and you stomped the hell out of the runway in that outfit. I think you just need to lean harder into the glamour side of your drag, instead of solely relying on a campy performance to sell your looks. Unfortunately, I'm getting more Spirit Halloween than Vampire Queen from you tonight.
C3PO, please step forward.
C3PO, I really thought that you'd be in the top this week, but your looks were surprisingly lacking, especially in categories that you should have devoured. Specifically, I was really disappointed in your glamour from another galaxy runway. I understood the bedazzled cyborg concept you were going for, but the look seemed really thrown together and unfinished, so it was dead on arrival when you hit the stage. I was just expecting a lot more.
The fit of your garments isn't doing you any favors. I don't know if your pads slipped or simply need to be replaced, but you're quite lumpy in several places. Across the board tonight, your looks were pretty lacking when it came to the fine details and ensuring that every piece of your garment was runway ready, which isn't something I can accept from a queen who wants to ascend the Toon World throne.
I'll give you some credit for serving two distinct character performances during your runways tonight. And both of your looks told me a lot about you as a drag queen. The actual garments just need a lot more work before they're truly stage ready. Your gowns aren't lined, the hems are uneven, and Pegasus hit the nail on the head with his comment about your lumpy padding. You're giving Madame Fleury a run for her money.
Lola Bunny, please step forward.
Lola, you had the kind of start to this season that everyone who auditions for Cartoon Drag Race dreams of manifesting. You devoured both runway categories. Your hometown eleganza is giving me just the right mixture of femininity and high glam sensuality, and your glamour from another galaxy look is campy, cute, and tells me a lot about your drag. I was blown away by what I saw from you this week. Amazing job.
You really came out swinging this week. What I enjoyed most is that you clearly understand how to strike the perfect balance between camp, glamour, and sex appeal in your looks and your performances. You didn't rely too heavily on one aspect of your drag at the expense of the others, and you seemed very confident in yourself and what you could deliver on that main stage. I was very impressed by what I saw from you tonight.
Girl, I need to commend you on that runway walk. It's evident that you've studied how some of the greats stomp a runway and have developed your own signature style. You moved with grace, elegance, and a sense of purpose that immediately commanded my attention. On top of that, every detail across both of your looks was well thought out, and I could tell that you were empowered by what you presented. Excellent work.
Light Yagami, please step forward.
Light, I appreciate that you leaned into your masculine side and natural good looks tonight, but the actual outfits just felt a bit generic, especially compared to what you usually post online. Both silhouettes are very basic. I can see that you added jewelry and other embellishments to make them more interesting, but everything still reads as a bit dull.
If there was ever a place where understated and subtle shouldn't exist, it's Toon World. I like big drag, a painted mug that you can see from 12 lots down, and more than anything, a queen who knows who they are and shows it on stage. You gave me nothing in this challenge, Light, and I really can't say that I learned anything new about you or your brand after watching those runways.
My biggest note is that your glamour from another galaxy look didn't really read as alien to me. It seemed like you brought a generic outfit from home, added some accessories at the last minute, and then tried to pass it off as fitting this category. And that's never something you should do, especially during the first episode. This was your chance to really make an impression and ensure that the fans remember your name and your drag. But after tonight, I doubt they're going to remember either.
And to round off the night, Evil Queen, please step forward.
Queenie, you gave me everything that I hoped I'd see from you tonight. Your looks were grand testaments to classic high drag, and I could tell that you were in your element from the second you stepped on stage. You moved with grace, poise, and a confidence that speaks to your experience as a drag queen. Fabulous job. I can't wait to see more from you.
Across the first 2 seasons of Toon World, wicked queens have been a real force, and I appreciate that you came out of the gates wanting to show a unique, unexpected side to your drag. I knew you could deliver high glamour, Queenie, but you gave me so much more than glamour tonight. You were regal, you were grand, and your looks told us a compelling story about your drag artistry. You're starting off on the right foot here, and I was very impressed.
I think your most notable feature in drag is your face, and the sheer presence that you exude with just one look. It's very Marlene Dietrich or Ingrid Bergman coded. You simply don't need to say a lot. If the lighting and the garment work in your favor, then you can tell an entire story without ever saying a word. That's an impressive quality in any entertainer, and I suspect that it'll take you far in this competition.
Ladies, now that the judges and I have had time to deliberate and share our thoughts with you, I've made some decisions. Sonia, tonight, your runways showed that you're here to make your mark on this competition. You are safe and may go untucked backstage.
Landing in the top and hearing the judges praise my looks really lit a fire under me. I'm ready to take the judges' notes, apply them to my performance in the next challenge, and secure my first damn win. I refuse to wait. This is just the start of my trip to the top.
Evil Queen, tonight, your runways were certifiably wicked, and we loved every inch of darkness. You are safe and may go untucked backstage.
Oh, did you see the look on poor little Snow White's face when I was called for critiques while she was asked to go untuck? That would have been divine enough, but then the judges also loved my gorgeous runways. Winning the first challenge would have really made my night, but I'm a patient woman, and things here are already working in my favor.
Lola Bunny, tonight, your runways were the best in the galaxy and really lit the stage on fire. Congratulations, you are the winner of this week's challenge.
I was filled with so many different emotions when Pegasus announced that I'd won the first challenge. I've worked my ass off to prove that I'm more than just a pretty face and that my drag has real substance. Although this win is very validating, I promise you all that it's only the beginning of what I have to show.
Light Yagami, this week your runway looks failed to gag the judges and didn't tell us enough about you or your drag. I'm sorry, my dear, but you are up for elimination. Sibella, tonight your spooky glamour had a little too much spooky and not enough glamour. C3PO, tonight your runways told us a lot about you, but they needed a lot more polish. C3PO, you are safe and may go untucked backstage. Sibella, I'm sorry, my dear, but you are up for elimination.
Alright, landing in the bottom certainly isn't how I wanted to start the season, but I can turn this setback into fuel for my plans with Yugi. A little stumble now just might be my ticket to the finale. But first, I need to drive a stake through this vampire's heart. Then we'll call it a day, and I'll get things back on track for the next challenge.
I'm heartbroken to be lip-syncing so early in the competition. I knew my looks tonight weren't the strongest compared to everything else I brought, and I can barely move in this gown. But the show must go on. I'm a performer, and they're about to cue the music. It's time to get this show on the road.
The lip-sync song is Lover Girl by Tina Marie. Light had a good performance. Sibella flopped the lip-sync.
Ladies, I have made my decision. Light, Shantae, you stay. You may go untuck backstage. Sibella, Toon World's #1 ghoul girl. I know that our time together was far shorter than anyone would have liked, but I'm confident we'll meet again. Until then, my dear, I must ask you to sashay away.
Oh, parting is such sweet sorrow. I wish all of you divas the very best. I've had so much fun getting to know each of you, and I hope you all have a fantastic time.
Hi icons! Unfortunately, these queens were so greedy for screen time that we had to cut Untucked. It will be back next episode, packed with a delicious helping of drama. Until then, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Now remember, be proud, feel free, and live your life, always.